Hello friends, family, and internet stranger, Stephanie here, finally with a new cooking video. I know that it has been a while. I have content, it just has not been coming out. So for all of my mother's friends who have been wondering where my videos have gone, there will be more, I swear. Thank you everyone for sticking with me. I appreciate your support. So today's video is a casserole challenge collab. It is part of a monthly collab hosted by Tiffany over at Small Town 6. If you have not checked out her channel, I will have that linked down below, as well as a link to the playlist with all of the other videos that are a part of this collab. So if you are looking for casserole ideas, look no further than that playlist. There are going to be a lot of great videos on there for you to check out. So let's get started. Today we are making a French onion chicken noodle casserole, and this was absolutely delicious. I am going to start out with some cooked chicken that I have shredded up that I cooked in advance in my Instant Pot with a little bit of corruption seasoning. You can use any kind of seasoning you want, but if you've been here before, you know that I love my corruption seasoning. I also used 1 can of condensed cream of chicken soup. If you want to use cream of mushroom, that would probably go really well in this. I just don't like mushroom. And then I also used pepper, thyme, and about 1 cup of onion dip. So you can use pre-made grocery store onion dip. I used the kind that's the Lipton onion soup mix mixed in sour cream. And then I added about 1 cup of that, and then about a cup of mozzarella cheese and a little bit of Swiss cheese, not too much. You could also use provolone if you prefer, if you are not a big fan of Swiss. Next up are my onions, and this is important because this is where the flavor comes from in this casserole. I'm using 2 onions. I am coating them in some nice melted butter in my pan, and then I am going to add some garlic salt, pepper, and a little bit of thyme, and that is going to be where the flavor comes in. That plus onions cooked down are just so good. I love anything with a good caramelized onion on it for the most part. So once these soften up a little bit, I'm going to put a cover on them and then just let them be on a low heat for about 20-25 minutes is how long I did mine, until they got nice and soft and a little bit brown. Then I added a little bit of garlic and stirred it around until it was fragrant. And then just a little bit of flour I added to this, because when I start to add liquid, I don't want it to be really soupy. I'm not making soup, I'm making a casserole. So a little bit of flour, about a tablespoon, and then just cooking that down. And then I'm adding 1 tablespoon approximately, or not a tablespoon, that would be a bit much for this. 1 teaspoon rather of the Better Than Bouillon beef base. You could also use a little bit of beef stock if you'd like, or you can leave this out completely, but I did think it added some good flavor here. So I've added a little bit of pasta water. I am using cooked pasta to add to this, so I had bow tie pasta, and that is what I'm using. So I just used a little bit of the pasta water. You could use regular water, but it was convenient to just take it right out of the pot next door. So once I get all of my water, flour, and beef base mixed in, my pasta is done. That's going right in there with the onions. I wasn't sure exactly how much pasta I needed, so I did an entire box of bow tie pasta and then figured I'd have some left over that I can use for a different recipe. So I used about half to 3/4 of the box of bow tie pasta, and it was just the normal size 16-ounce, I think, box of pasta. And then I add all of my chicken mixture to it to make sure I've got enough pasta. Once I start stirring this around a little, I realized I wanted just a little bit more pasta in there, so I added that. And then once this is all combined, it is going into a nice baking dish. You can use whatever size you'd like. You can use an 8x8 and have it a thicker casserole, or a 9x13. Mine is like a 10x13. It's a little bit larger. So I add all of that in, and then I top it with Swiss cheese. Now, again, if you are not a fan of Swiss cheese, you could use provolone. You could use all mozzarella instead of using something else. But when I think of French onion, I kind of think of French onion soup, and I think of that nice melty Swiss cheese on top. So that was the flavor I was going for with this. Shredded probably would have worked better, but I didn't have any. I had sliced Swiss cheese left over from the last time I made French onion soup. So I used that and then sprinkled some mozzarella in on top of that. And I had just a little bit of the French onions, the crispy onions that you get at Thanksgiving to put on your casseroles, your green bean casseroles. Had a little bit of that left, so I finished out that can on top of here. You could also use breadcrumbs, or in my family, whenever my dad made casseroles, he would put, like on mac and cheese, crushed up potato chips on top. So that would also have been good with this, especially with the dip. But once I covered that up, I put it in the oven. I put it in there for about 20 minutes because everything was already still warm. It didn't need too much time. And this is the final dish. I had it under the broiler for about 5 minutes after my initial 20 minutes, and this was perfect. Served it with a little broccoli. Definitely recommend. Thank you so much for watching, and thanks again, Tiffany, for hosting. If you are here from that playlist, leave me a comment down below, and even if you're not, leave a comment, say hello, let me know what your favorite casserole is, and I hope y'all will subscribe if you haven't already, and give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching.